Hello. Welcome, everyone. You have joined Twitchy Tuesdays. We've been in a house mood all day today. So we've got the house. I think it's like a chill house vibe, but this is not seeming very chill, but I'm digging it. And you have joined us, Twitchy Tuesdays, where we are thriving live once per week. Oh, let's get this mic up. Let's see. Is this better? Mic up? Are we louder and better? Way better. We love it. Thank you for the check-in. All right. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, you have joined us at the right time because we are about to explore the very, very amazing change of the North Node and the South Node for that matter, headed into a new sign. So we are going to explore that tapestry of the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, which is changing this week, and a new moon in Cancer. And we're going to discuss how we can embrace all of this transformation in our lives because there is a lot. There's Pluto's in the mix. Pluto is playing in Capricorn right now, is in the mix. So there is a lot going on. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because we've got weekly astrological insights and, there's some celestial forecasting going on. You want to make sure that you stick through it all because we do have the tarot. We'll be doing a tarot reading for the new moon as well as probably pulling some cards for the North and South Node shifting. All right. Here we are. It is, July 11th already. So prepping, I have to forecast out because everybody should be getting prepped for Venus retrograde in Leo. That is coming up in the month of July. We talked a lot about that and kind of these upcoming themes in the start of quarter 3 in the last Twitchy Tuesday. Highly recommend going and taking a look at that. And I not that this was the purpose behind planning it, but when it was planned and set into motion, I thought it was a really beautiful way to bring in this Leo energy, bring in Venus in Leo, and bring in Venus's retrograde. So for the last, hold on, let me get my days right. let me get the days right. Pulling up the app right now. For the last 37 days, my husband and I have been doing a 75 hard. If you have never heard of 75 hard, absolutely go and make sure that you check it out. You can find it on YouTube, Andy Frisella. And we have been jamming with the 75 hard. And again, Venus retrograde wasn't the purpose and the why behind doing it, but doing this with Mars getting into Virgo, where we're really honoring and honing our physical structures and taking action with our physical structures. Mercury into Leo, which can be fast, it can be kind of that fast and furious a bit. And then also Venus and her retrograde in Leo. Could not think of a better thing to be doing right now to really help ease in all of these energies. And that is all before we talk about the node shifting and this new moon in Cancer and how Pluto is going to play a huge part in all of that. Here we grow. Here we grow is all I can say. Here we grow. So let's get into the astrology of the week. I will start shuffling. So today we had Mercury in Leo squaring the North Node in Taurus. So this actually, the nodes do not shift till 7/17, so next Monday. So we've got a little bit of a buildup here happening. So Mercury in Leo squares the North Node in Taurus. That happened at 0 degrees, 48 minutes. Mars in Virgo trine the North Node in Taurus at 0 degrees, 48 minutes. So there might be something, if 0, 48, I'm getting called to like numbers, if those from a numerology standpoint mean anything to you, this could have bigger impact for you as you begin to look at that. So this square, this trine, it's really, this is part of a starting story that's going to accumulate and build and has been building really, right? As the nodes have been going closer and closer. But this is really the start of this week, the start of this accumulation into 7/17, into Monday, when the nodes actually shift. So it's, you know, there's this clarity of thought with Mercury and Leo. It kind of burns through all the bullshit. And it's this like clear thought, but also the physical path forward as the North Node gets into Aries, as the South Node gets into Libra. This is your understanding this. You're getting clarity of your thought process with this, of your physical path forward. And not only that, but taking Ace of Cups just popped out. Ace of Cups. Not only that, but getting clarity. I love that there's this eye here because I was just talking about clarity. Here's the eye as the seasons change, as the nodes, here's the moon, as the nodes go through their process across the sky, there's clarity in what you receive during these nodal transits. That is what this square and this trine today is really trying to get us to see. Did you enjoy your time? Did you enjoy your time here? Did you enjoy when the North Node was in Taurus and the South Node was in Scorpio? If not, okay, what does that mean? What was this bigger lesson that you are learning? What can you take away from it? What can you be grateful for with it? What gift? I mean, the Ace of Cups, it's a gift from the universe. It is, here, I have something for you if you're willing to pay attention to it, if you're willing to look at it, if you're willing to acknowledge its existence. And it also comes to, is there a better way? If this is the first time that the nodes, you've had it in your awareness and in your presence, that the nodes are actually working for you and with you in a different way than ever before in your life, take stock of that. In this square, in this trine, take stock of that and how you can clearly think through that, get all the bullshit out of the way, get a better way, get an easier way, easier path forward. And how do you really, Queen of Cups, right in the middle of Cancer season, all the cups, Queen of Cups coming out. How do you leave Taurus and Scorpio? How do you leave this Queen of Cups, this, great, beautiful palace that she's living in. How do you leave Taurus and Scorpio and move into Aries, Libra with power? How does that happen? What emotional maturity have you gained? Especially with all the cups coming out and those kind of emotions. Like where's your feeling center at with what has been transpiring with these nodes in that Taurus Scorpio axis? And we've got a couple days to think about it. So the 12th and the 13th, there's no direct aspects. So we get these few days to get into the groove, figure it out, understand ourselves, understand our journey that's been over the last 15-ish months. And then on the 14th, the sun in Cancer will sextile Uranus and Taurus at 22 degrees, 15 minutes. And this is still going to be present during the new moon on that Monday. So 7/17, not only do the nodes shift, but we have a new moon in Cancer. Same day, literally, I think I can check the honeycomb, but I'm pretty sure it's like hours away from each other. So this sun in Cancer sextiling Uranus and Taurus, this sextile is still present. It's one of the aspects of this moon. So there's a lot about this moon and this changing of the nodes that we are being asked to finalize. Not complete. This is not completion energy. Completion has already been occurring. We are already sitting at a 9. We have been pulling up 9s. Let's see what this is. The Empress. It's already complete. And here's just Venus living life, loving all the things that she's doing in Leo right now. The Empress. We are already complete. We're sitting at the 9. It is now time to take that 9 to a 10. It is now time to finalize. Completion is over. Finalization is that next stage, that next step. The next go around the zodiac, the next big adventure. But what we get this moment of finalization on the 14th, where the sun in Cancer can really illuminate sextiling Uranus and Taurus. What is still needed? What's still needed to finalize? Uranus is the one, and we've been really honing in on Uranus because he's becoming more and more present as we begin. He had this great grand adventure at the beginning of the year and last year, and then he's been a little bit quiet, but now is coming back into these conversations, and will continue. Taurus, fixed sign. There's going to be squares to Venus, Leo, right? Here we have this conversation that is going to be continuing to happen. And Uranus is going to continue to have this shakeup in this last decan. This is his movement in here. He ingressed into this last decan. He's going to do a retrograde, going to come back, but he's really clearing out and beginning to shake up what is within this last decan for you of Taurus. And the sun in Cancer can show you like where that maybe not illuminate where it doesn't still feel right, where maybe it is, okay, I know I've completed this. It's just not exactly the feeling yet about completely finalizing it. Like there's still a little something else. Uranus still has another little shakeup to bring in before we can go that. And with, that Empress coming out, that's Venus, it might be that shakeup, what you need to actually finalize doesn't happen until she is in her retrograde moving through Leo. So just kind of be aware of that. And we get to have this conversation for 2 days. So we get these great conversations at the beginning of the week, have 2 days to integrate that, have another really strong conversation with the sun and Uranus, 2 days to integrate that. Because on the 17th, this is the big day of this week for Twitchy Tuesdays. We have Mercury in Leo will first square Jupiter in Taurus, 11 degrees, 54 minutes. We love this. I love this. I love Mercury in Leo. Again, it's got that clarity. It's getting rid of the bullshit. It's the clarity. Our thoughts have a little bit more pep to their step. They've got a little bit more action orientation with them. They have a little more spice to them. And this square to Jupiter in Taurus is almost like giving Mercury that beautiful at 11:54, this beautiful like, hey, hey, don't fly through Leo so fast. You're not paying attention to all of this openness, all of the abundance that's able to get you, like that's available to you, because that's still present in this new moon in Cancer. And when we go through the information about the new moon in Cancer, you have to still remember that Mercury in Leo is still squaring Jupiter in Taurus here. This is still this is like this new moon in Cancer is all up in the front. It's all up in the front. It's like trying to have this spotlight, but there's still this conversation happening over here that you want to be able to tune into and get to understand. Because Jupiter has something to give Mercury, saying, hey, don't forget about this opening. Don't forget to take that fire, that passion that you have right now, and place it somewhere. And Mercury and Venus are co-present right now in Leo. Jupiter is in Venus's home sign. So this can be a really beautiful, like, okay, I can have Venus help me understand what Jupiter is trying to get at here, because I don't want to miss it, but I'm also going like, dude, we got to get going here. I only got so much time in this Leo. I will be in Virgo before you know it. So how can we get the information quickly but efficiently? So, new moon in Cancer, and then the nodes shifting into Aries and Libra. So, the new moon actually happens first before the nodes shift. And I think that's where I was trying to debate off the cuff if I wanted to talk about the nodes first, or if we wanted to go right into the new moon in Cancer. The new moon in Cancer doesn't have a lot of nodal capacity within it, right? There's not something, an aspect to the node or anything, but because they are so tied, we want to make sure that, like, okay, what comes up for us during this moon? How could that be tied to these nodes changing as well? So let's go with the moon first. Let me get to the full card screen, so that way we can get our reading and get our tarot out. All right, new moon in Cancer. The phrase that I got for this moon was alignment time. It's an alignment sort of moon. I love that it's a new moon doing this. So it's not about aligning things to let go, but aligning yourself for what's to come, for what you're manifesting in. And this is right on time. Again, with these nodes shifting into Aries and Libra, this moon is poised perfectly to really support that alignment. Before I continue pulling any of these cards, I wanted to show, so this, in last week's Twitchy Tuesday, I used the Akashic Tarot, and this card, after Twitchy Tuesdays was done, we were shut down, this card came out, and it has been sitting here giving me joy and reminding and just presence. There's been so much presence with this card over this last week. And when I was trying to figure out, like, okay, how does the reading need to go? Do we want to do oracle cards or anything? It was very clear. Spirit was like, ancestors, thank you. We're like, you already have what you need here. So this card says will, wisdom, and mind. Will, wisdom, and mind. And it's got the Trinity on it. And so there's this card, when again wanted to be present, and it really hones in on, like, this is the grounding energy right now. It's will, wisdom, and mind. And this is that grounding energy, not just for this new moon in Cancer, but also for the Libra, Aries Libra node shift. So just to kind of keep that present, and we'll build around this as we go. And I did bring out the mini Morgan Greer Tarot, so that way we could get some clarifiers. I have a feeling We're going to have cards, but I have a feeling there's going to be a deeper conversation that's going to be needed. So, alignment time with this new moon in Cancer, July 17th, 1:31 p.m. Central at 24 degrees, 56 minutes. You'll want to take a look at where the Cancer area of your natal chart is, particularly at that 24, 56 degree mark, and figure out what house it's in. And then that can help you determine what this new moon in Cancer, what types of themes may be showing up. So you can see here, this is the third house. This is the house of Gemini. And with that, the themes are travel, communication, daily activities, right? This is the second house, the house of Taurus, money, possessions, earning power. And if Cancer sits in your third house, these are some of the ways that this new moon could be opening you up, is in some of these themes. So, from that natal chart perspective, this moon is also sextiling Uranus and Taurus, and it's trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So, with the moon in its home sign, this is a great opening, welcome, invitation to tune in. Tune into the darkness. Tune into your intuition. Turn off the when, turn off the how, turn off the anxiety of like thinking in the future, turn off the expectations, turn off those pieces and tune in to the feelings, the intuition, the inside, those dark spaces, and get clear for you. This is the big phrase for this moon. Get clear on how you are in alignment for your manifestations to come in. Because we can work all we want. We can do all the things to get what we want. We can keep putting things, keep taking action, keep doing these things. But if you're not in alignment with what you are trying to bring in, it either won't come in at all, it will come in, but not in the way that you expected or wanted. Or it may not be in its fullest expression, right? It's that, do you want your plan or do you want God's plan, right? It's that thing. But you first have to be in alignment for those manifestations to show up. And that's what this moon can help you with, is getting really clear on, by tuning in on, are you in alignment to make those things happen? Check in with yourself. Do you feel worthy of what you're trying to bring in? You can be scared. Being scared's fine, right? Having a little fear, that's great. We can do that. But does it become self-deprecating? Does it become where it drags you under? That is what you are trying to tune into. The Queen of Pentacles just popped out. You got to know. I mean, she's got this peacock here. She's got this royal garb. Like, I love that she's in purple, a royal color. Has the dark forest green with gold on it. Like, she is in her power. She is ready and willing to accept this pentacle because she knows she's deserving of it. She is aligned with her manifestation. I'm getting the message for anybody that has peacock energy, or if that kind of pinged you, go and look up peacock spirit animal. There may be some additional messages there. And getting clear on this, again, we have this trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. You could hear this clearer. Again, we talked about it when Neptune went retrograde. Some people work with Neptune retrograde where the veil clears. This makes it easier for you to see, to hear, to intuit. And you could hear this clearer. You could get clearer on your alignment for your manifestations. You could see where that alignment needs to just have those tiny tweaks. And it doesn't mean it has to be the entire castle's got to go. It doesn't mean everything here has to go. It could just be a simple, tiny tweak. It's like this Queen of Pentacles looks like she's taking a portrait, right? Like she's standing for a portrait. Somebody is painting her. She is standing for a portrait. Well, that does not happen in one sitting. Could it? Yes. But most of the time when you're painting, if you're trying to capture this entire thing, there are key pieces that are done in order to get what is needed, get the expression correctly, etc. But artists may have to come back and do another one, right? Making a little adjustment. Actually, you were sitting this way a little bit more. Actually, can you move this down? Taking pictures. How many times have you ever sat down to take pictures? Okay, move your head a little bit to the right. Okay, move your shoulders. It doesn't have to be sweeping changes at this time. It could be a tiny, just the tilt of the head. Hey, I need you to bring the pentacle up a little bit higher, which creates the masterpiece that you're looking for. It creates the manifestation that you want. And Uranus, Uranus will be sextiling at this time in Taurus. You will be able to make those changes needed. Uranus is here for that support, right? Through action from what you hear with your intuition. Uranus and Taurus wants you to make those changes. He wants you to make those small adjustments. He wants you to have the most beautiful portrait that you can. Show up and show out. And he will help you make those changes needed. And it's all going to be in that action. We are in Taurus. It is Earth. Action down here. But you got to go in to get those answers first. You have to go inside. Don't worry about the when and the how. Get in. Worry about the internal. And then this is really the King of Cups. Oh, love the Queen of Pentacles. Love the King of Cups. Here they are, because I was just about to say, this is how your feminine and your masculine work together. Go into it, understand. Neptune's sitting on his throne. Look, even here, there's seahorses. Neptune's on his throne here. And then allow the energy, that earth energy, the pentacle energy, allow Uranus to show you where you can make those action steps and those moves. Work together, balance these out. Balance using that, okay, let me think through it. Let me go inside. Let me understand. And then let me take the action that I need. Okay, the other thing with this moon is Pluto is activated. Pluto in Capricorn retrograde is activated. It is in a 5-degree orb. However, the sun and the moon will very quickly catch up to Pluto. And so even though when we talk about how this moon is aspecting things, that's always within a 3-degree orb, Pluto in Capricorn and all the things that are going to be happening through July absolutely warrants this conversation within this moon. So with Pluto being activated within that 5-degree orb, it's Pluto in Cap. It's the Emperor. It's all the things that we need to be looking at, understanding, 8 of Swords, interpreting, figuring out what has to go, figuring out how we, again, not complete, but finalize Pluto's transit. 6 of Wands. How do we come out the victor of that? How do we walk through the crowd? How do we hold this, hold our flag high and be proud of what we've done as Pluto's been going through Capricorn? And then here we have the King of Wands, right? How do we come out that victor? Here's the wand here. This king went on campaign, did the work that needed to be done, is getting the accolades for it. And now, once Pluto gets into Aquarius full time, he can sit on his throne and reap in the rewards of all of the work that has occurred as Pluto's been in Capricorn and all the work that he's done within himself. So Pluto in Capricorn is reworking these last degrees of Capricorn, this true emperor, this true self-mastery, the true deep power that we all have to succeed in life through work, through hard work over and over and over again. And he is truly like, I love that he's got these scrolls there. He like a signet. This is what this is reminding me of. Like these rolls, these scrolls might have been sealed with a signet. That's what I'm seeing. Pluto is putting his stamp in Capricorn this year. He is putting his signet on this. He is sealing it up, and he is like sign, seal, delivered. This is going to be it. And there's a lot that Pluto is still digging up and getting like, hey, we got to finalize all this. There's still like this 8 of Swords. There's still things that Pluto is going to present while he is in Capricorn before he gets back into Aquarius, and then stays in Aquarius full time next year, late next year, I believe November. Somebody fact check me on that, but I believe it's November. So there's still things that he's doing. And some of those things, if you live in America, some of those things that you're seeing right now, interest rate changes. Pluto and Capricorn, that has his stamp, his seal, his approval all over it. Student loan steps, student loan forgiveness, all the things happening with student loans. All of that has Pluto and Capricorn signature on it. Still things to go. Some of those aren't completed yet. Some of those may get completed into finalization while Pluto is in Capricorn, and others are going to get completed but won't be finalized till Pluto gets into Aquarius. And how does all of these changes that Pluto's bringing in, how do you come out the victor in this, right? How do you come out as the 6 of Wands and the Knight of Wands? How do you come out as this victor? And then how does it tie back into this moon is the big important question. How is it tying back into this moon, which this is the kind of one of those last times, the primed opportunity, the last invitation, if you will, that is like this in your face to think about things on the home front. This is a Cancer new moon. We have the Knight of Wands here, this home front. We have the Emperor, this empire that you've built, this empire of yourself. It's the last things on the home front, this Cancer new moon. Cancer revolves around our home and our foundation and our shell, our comfort zones, that needs to get organized. Absolutely needs to get organized and worked through before Pluto gets into Aquarius. This is can't get a better invitation. This is like the invitation to go in, not just looking at your manifestations coming up for harvest, but really looking at how Pluto in Capricorn has been working with you through the Capricorn areas of your chart, how Pluto's transit in Capricorn has affected you, how you've grown from that, how you've done things, what are the areas that showed up, this 8 of Swords, what are the surprises in those areas that showed up, and then how did you move through them to become this sovereign ruler, this King of Wands, and get that. Start that conversation with yourself. Start that will, wisdom, and mind. Start connecting those dots before Pluto stays in Aquarius. And this is like those great strides, taking those great strides, getting that self-mastery really down. One other thing that I wanted to say, because it ties into this moon, it ties into Pluto and Capricorn, but it also takes us to the eclipses at the end of the year. So I think both eclipses are in October this year. And both of those, the one eclipse in October and then its following one into the next year, is actually going to make a complete X over the state of Texas. These two are going to actually, I almost positive. I want to do an astrology IRL on this, but I think it's San Antonio that it goes over. So when you look at what's happening in Texas, this is where I live. And so Texas, we've got right now lots of talking about property taxes. That is very Pluto Capricorn, right? Property taxes. And are we going to be able, our governor going to be able to do property tax breaks for all Texans that own property, etc. So there is, and that eclipse, those eclipses that are happening are going to have a Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and Uranus retrograde configuration inside of them. So again, looking into being prepared, looking into, okay, how do I ensure that I can be in my power with this King of Wands? What are the lessons that I've learned? How do I react to things? How do I approach things? How do I take things? How do I listen internally, that feminine, and then be able to take action on what I'm hearing, what I'm sensing about myself and my values and how I show up in this world, how my self-mastery, what I want to manifest, how do I align myself to that? And that is what you can work on right now to bring you forward. Bring you forward so when we do get to these eclipses, when we do get into next year, when more changes happen, when Pluto does get into Aquarius and then begins to shift and work on a different area of our life in a different way, we have tools. We can create success. Another thing, a couple other things to think through with this moon is your emotional frequency, your aura, your capacity right now for energy and cleansing your energy, spiritual baths. Like, where is all of that set at right now for you? And does it need a little bit of adjustment? Cancer new moon could be a great time to take a spiritual bath in the dark, couple candles lit, and really just relax into it. And it's also another question is like, how do you feel safe? So we talked about all of these things that are changing. We talked about how Pluto and Capricorn's working with us. We talk about Uranus and Taurus. We've been talking about all of these things. So how, and this moon is asking you to go inside to understand, how do you feel safe? How can you feel safe for what is to come and what is yet to crumble? That's what we're going to be pulling cards on. I just heard. Those two questions are what we're going to be pulling cards on. And then when it comes to Pluto and Cap, as well as Uranus and Taurus things, investment. How do you protect yourself from the instability? Do you rent right now? Do you buy right now? Do you, how do you not be so vulnerable? How do you make sure that your portfolio isn't so vulnerable if you're into the stock market and all of those things? How do you make sure that there's, you are secure in your home life? You are secure and have the things that you need to make this a success, this fourth house home life, the house of Cancer, this a success. So that way you can continue to manifest and get the things that you want. That's the new moon. And we'll go right into the node shifting as soon as we do the reading. So the two questions that I had were, how do we feel safe? And we'll get that one. And then how do we feel safe for what is to come? How do we feel safe for what is yet to crumble? And then this will be kind of our guiding, the will, wisdom, and mind, our guiding directive. So how do we feel safe for what is to come during this new moon? All right. And then How do we feel safe for what is yet to still be crumbled? How do we feel safe for what is yet to still be crumbled? Thank you. Oh, there's that King of Wands again. And we've got Death. Beautiful. Okay. Put these here, and we will get the tiny tarot for any sort of clarification. So the first question, Cancer, New Moon, how can we feel safe for what is to come? And the Four of Swords and the Five of Wands came out. Here's what's interesting, 4 and 5, 9. There is that completion. Not finalized, but completion. How do we feel safe for what's to come? I immediately, when these two dropped, it was like, you've already told them that answer. The answer is in going inside. The answer is in facing the swords that are over you. The answer is in doing the work necessary to get yourself spiritually ready and spiritually protected. Get in tune with you. Get in tune with your frequency. Get in tune with your energy. Be prepared to fight for you. Be prepared to fight for the things that you want. Be prepared to visualize them, to sleep on them, to face those demons, to face the things that are standing in the way. Be prepared to gain wisdom. How do you gain wisdom? Through experience. You can't get experience if these things terrify you. You have to put that fear aside. You have to continue to go. How do you feel safe for what's to come? It is through your experiences. It is through getting connected. It's through doing hard shit. Things that you don't want to do. Because then they don't become scary anymore, because guess what? You've done them. Woo. All right. That did not need any clarifiers, because that was loud and clear. But how can you feel safe for what is still yet to crumble? We had the King of Wands, and the Death. And these ones, I am going to get some clarifiers. So how do you feel safe for what's still to crumble? First off, there's this piece of staying present. So what I love about this Knight of Wands is he is grounded, the Fool. He is grounded in everything right now. He is on his throne. His feet are on the earth. He's not moving. This is not an action. This is not, wands obviously go through action, but he is not in action in this card, right? Standing in that power. So how do you feel safe for what's still yet to crumble? You've got to be willing to stand in the power of what you have already gone through, what wisdom you've gained, the clarity of mind that you've gained, the will that you have gained. This is how you get here. You get here, and it's, again, the Fool came out as a clarifier. Being willing to still take the journey, being willing to still do the things that you need to do, being willing to still look death in the eye and go, yep, we're going to keep pushing through that. We're going to keep going with it. I know that you're here, Death, to showcase and show me the things that I need to let go of. And this is where we're going to get into these node shifting. Show me where I need to let go of the things so I can take this journey, and I can do so in my power. I can approach what's to crumble. What's still yet going on, I can feel safe in what's still yet going to come because I'm secure in my knowledge. Again, all of the work that we've been doing over this last year, getting really fucking clear on our values. This is what the nodes in Taurus were teaching us, Taurus and Scorpio, digging all that shit up, getting really clear on what we want, getting really clear on our values, making sure that we're making aligned decisions between our values and who we are today. Not what we wanted 22 years ago, not what we wanted 2 years ago before we had started doing this work, but really taking a look at all of the things that we want now with who we are now, with what's in alignment for us now. And so again, how do you feel safe for what's still yet to crumble? The death here. There's a lot about letting go. There's a lot about letting go, and we'll get into that with the nodes, the South Node in particular in Libra. How do you feel safe with what's to crumble? Knowing, starting today. Hold on, what do we got? The Five of Swords. Knowing what has to stay and what has to come with you. Knowing that in the future, it is going to require you to let go of things to get other things. You cannot carry everything like Bag Lady, right? Erykah Badu. You got to put some of them bags down. You don't need all them bags. That bag is you circa 2008. Get it the fuck gone. You are not who you were back in 08. If you are, we got other conversations that we need to have. Get the bag gone. You are going to be required to leave things behind. You are going to be required to grow through those things. You're going to be required to level up. And how do you feel safe when shit is just crumbling around you? That's how you feel safe and secure, is by already prepping yourself for that, already knowing, not being surprised. Not being surprised. Oh, I'm being required to let go of the old way of thinking. That should not be a shocker. Doesn't make it easy. Has nothing to do with how easy that is. But it shouldn't come as a surprise that there's going to be things and actions that are going to be required of you through your growth and development. If you want to grow, if you want to get somewhere new, something's going to be required to change. Okay, they're saying that's it for the new moon. We'll shift over to the nodes and start talking about them and see what kind of cards come up for the nodes. So this is also happening on the 17th. Like I said, I think it's about an hour. Let me look. Got my honeycomb. Love honeycomb. Apparently, so does my puppy, because he also chewed all over the honeycomb. Okay, 17th. So the moon happens at 1:31. This happens at 2:59. Yeah, like within the hour, nodes shift after that moon. So the nodes will stay here until January. Oh, the sun. Yay. Love that the sun came out right there. The nodes are shifting. So the north node is headed into Aries. The nodes do go retrograde. So they go clockwise around the zodiac. So they go from Taurus to Aries versus the other way. So the north node is in Taurus now. It is headed into Aries. The south node is in Scorpio. It is headed into Libra. The last time that the nodes were here was 2004 to 2006. Now, for some of us, that may be like, whoa, I was infant. Okay, that, totally fine. Others, okay, there were some things, but I got to think back. Hold on, that was, child at that time. Let me think about it. And for others, you were an adult, or a teenager or something like that. So if you have the ability to look back between 2004 and 2006 and gain any insight to what was happening at that time, that can give you some sort of indication about, again, this is all about growth and development throughout the cycles of your life. So how have you grown? Have you grown since the last time these nodes were here? What things have you developed in these areas? And for some of us, like, if you were in your teenage years, that could be huge development in these areas, right? Libra is relationships. That could be a huge development in these areas for you, and how you've grown through relationships. So We'll talk about each one individually, but the other thing that I wanted to say before we head into each of these individually, and I love that the sun came out, and I love that there's kind of like an astroglobe here because I wanted to read a quote that I got from Kathy Allen. This is in the description box for it's a article, an online article that was written for the nodes. And this got sent to me by S.J. Anderson. So shout out to S.J. Anderson. You can catch him on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Great astrologer. When I was asking about the nodes and what is called the bendings, the north bending, the south bending, because that was a terminology that I had not heard of before, wanted to learn more about this. And he actually gave me this article. So thank you so much for that to help kind of gain in that knowledge and understanding. And Kathy Allen at the very beginning, not going into bendings, but really focused on the astronomy of the nodes. And I thought that that was a really great place to level set. So that way you understand kind of the science behind why we look at the nodes and why the nodes are even present. So Kathy Allen said, and this is in a quote, in astronomy, nodes are the points of intersection of two orbital planes. The moon's nodes, so yes, that means that anything can have a node. We in astrology focus on typically the moon's nodes. So back to the quote, the moon's nodes are the 2 points where the lunar orbit intersects the ecliptic, or the apparent path of the sun around the earth. The transitioning moon, when conjunct its own north node, is conjunct the ecliptic and moving from a south latitude to a north latitude. When the transitioning moon is conjunct its south node, or the descending node, it is also conjunct the ecliptic, but moving from north to south. The transitioning lunar nodes point out the location of yearly eclipses. When a new moon or a full moon falls near a node, there is an eclipse. That's why we've already started that transition to the Aries, Libra, solar, lunar eclipses this year. Therefore, only at these times are the moon and earth aligned together at the ecliptic and thus with the sun. End quote. I thought that was really great. Again, I love the science behind it, and this is why I loved how the sun came out, because this picture reminds me of that like ecliptic plane coming together, having that moment with the eclipses, etc. So that can kind of just help us ground into what the nodes are. So note, we can have anything. Saturn has a node. We could talk about Saturn's nodes. Really in astrology, we do focus on the nodes of the moon. The other thing to note with this is during this shifting node into Aries Libra axis, it will be co-present. The north node will be co-present with Chiron, because Chiron is in Aries and will be in Aries during this transit. So there will be a co-presence as well as a meetup, a conjunction with Chiron as the nodes go through their transit here. Okay, so North Node in Aries. So North Node is all about growth. Period. Growth. Our growth forward, what we are here for, our destiny path, how we grow into that. It is growth in all ways in ourselves over a lifetime, the Four of Cups. How do we internalize, and how do we, not with, and this is in Aries, so not with everybody else around us, not with all of the other, not with all the people around us, but how do we as an individual, Four of Cups again, how do we as an individual grow, self-actualize, be able to bring a cohesive self together? How do we interpret and understand the cups that we already have, so we can look at these as the last time the nodes were in Aries, and all of the transits since, what did I say? 2004 to 2006. Aries, the nodes going around the zodiac to get right back to this point. What are all those lessons? And then here, this hand is just out there giving this gift to the Four of Cups, saying, here's what Aries is going to be. Here's what this North Node in Aries is going to be for you. We are reminded, and this obviously continues over lifetimes, but we're really reminded with the North Node in Aries to follow our passions, assert our independence in healthy ways, and fearlessly pursue our true calling. What wanted to pop out? King of Swords. No bullshit. How do you follow your passions? How do you speak? How do you assert independence in healthy ways? How do you fearlessly pursue our true calling? That is the King of Swords in this card for me. Fearlessly pursuing our true calling. It's giving life to things that you're starting. Aries is an initiation. It's a cardinal sign. So there is this initiatory energy with the node here. It's like giving life to those things that maybe have already started. You think about it, the nodes start at 29 degrees and go backwards. So we've had a lot of things happen in Aries. Jupiter just got here. There's a lot going into Aries, and Chiron's been here for a while working with us. And there is this, maybe some things were already started, or you had ideas and they went on your parking lot. They went on like a board somewhere and you're like, I'll get to that when I can. This North Node in Aries, if that is your passion, if it goes to, again, your growth and what you're moving towards, it could be time to get those things initiated, begun, worked through, moved through, etc. It can give you direction on how to grow and how to grow quickly. Aries is a very fast sign, so it's not going to be Judgment came out. So it's almost like listen to the tune of the song and get dancing, because the song is going to be over before you know it. So let's go. What do I need to interpret here? What do I need to really how do I go through this North Node in Aries, knowing what I know now after just getting through Taurus and Scorpio? And this is one of those really beautiful moments where we can apply, going back to the conversation with the moon, we can apply the Taurus things, the Taurus lessons that were learned, the if you quote unquote judgment, the information, the wisdom that we've gained during that nodal Taurus Scorpio node, and not fall into, which is very easy in Aries, not fall into having the energy to start a bunch of things, but not have the energy to finish all of those things, and getting very frustrated along the way. Make sound judgments on the things that you are going to start with the North Node in Aries, the growth that you are going to do with the North Node in Aries. Utilize what you have gained, the wisdom you've gained from that North Node in Taurus. Go back to your values. Knight of Swords. Go back to your goals. Go back to the clarity of who you are. Go back to that. Make sound judgment on the fearless pursuit of your true calling. It's just like the nodes. The story keeps going backwards, just like the nodes. Fearless pursuit of what your true calling is, and here you get to learn from the universe how to move through those things. This is a lot about self-identity, owning who we are. How have we been showing up? How do we need to show up going forward? Very similar themes. If you know anything about Chiron, I know we typically don't talk a lot about Chiron on this channel. We did over in the Daily Dose and on Red Pill Astrology, so you can definitely find that there. But the similar things with Chiron being here that we have been working through, Chiron is where we heal Now that we have healed the North Node, how do we grow? How do we take it's reminds me of harvest, right? How do we heal the ground from what it just grew for us? How do we till that soil? How do we level it out? How do we make it ready again to grow anew, to grow the next harvest? And that's what this can help us with. It's a lot of root chakra work. So if you don't work with the chakras, if that's new, definitely look up and Google root chakra um, meditations, root chakra mudras, root chakra frequencies, all of those things. The root chakra is going to get recalibrated here because that is what Aries owns um, or aligns with, I should say. And it's additional things here is working through your false sense of self. Who are you in competition with? Don't get mixed up in this false sense of self. You're not in competition with anyone, right? It's you and you alone. Get on your journey, get doing the things that you need to do. And we did have an eclipse this year at this 29-degree point, which Aries is going to go right into. So it's this reactivation of this. So just watch for that over the next couple of weeks. There could have been something in the eclipse that ended again. Okay, so that's that healing. How do we till the soil, create something new to grow with? Or something could have started and now here this North Node in Aries is actually in Aries now, and now you can start actually completing it. You can start getting those initiatory things done. You can start actually working towards what that looks like for you. So let's move over now, South Node in Libra, and then I've got this kind of finalized words to kind of ground us in, and then we'll clear space and we be done. All right. Whoops. South Node in Libra. So the South Node is not about our growth. It is about our learnings. It's about our healing. It's about what is complete, what needs to be let go of, what is done. It's also it can be about the things that we have moved through in past lives that we have already learned in past lives. We don't need to bring into this life. It can kind of give us a direction of where we've been in the past to help us ground into where our growth is in the future with that North Node. Yeah, it's really a lot of it is about letting that energy go, letting the things go that no longer serve you. And with the South Node in Libra, what no longer these themes of Libra are going to be where that letting go might happen. So, the sharing of yourself, sharing of others, sharing even, Three of Cups, sharing with your community, sharing who you are in your dreams. Not everybody deserves to go on your journey with you. And that with the South Node in Libra could be what starts to come up and you see, oh, okay. What types of things do you have in common with people? How does that need to adjust? What if your core group, as you've been doing your work, as you've been doing your healing and your growing, does the community that you surround yourself around meet those needs of who you are now? What are you going to do about that? And then it's about how we relate to people, how we relate to our community, how we relate to ourselves. It's about giving and receiving. The Libra is that balance of both. How do I give and how do I receive in equal measure? And it is about relationships, and it's all relationships. It's the relationship with our community, the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with all different kinds of communities. We have a work community, we have a friendship circle, we have maybe even a gym community, we have a running club. Who knows, right? There's so many different types of relationships that we day in and day out go through. If you go and see a chiropractor weekly, you have a relationship with your chiropractor. So it's really about now with the South Node in Libra, understanding, because Scorpio could have been digging some of this up already, but understanding how you've changed in this area already since 2004, 2006. And for some of us, again, that could be, well, yeah, I've learned a lot in love since then. I've learned a lot about myself in relationships and how I give and receive and what things I'm not willing to do anymore. And those are all great. So you've already changed in those areas. Now this is the next level. This is the level for who you are now and the things that you need to let go and you need to heal and get through and let go of as these nodes transition. It's digging into what is no longer serving you, learning to let it go. How do you balance your growth within the Libra areas of your life? How there's this message that you're probably already aware of some of these things. I don't even think that they want cards. Nope, they do not. This was it. Look, community. Boop, community. How do you play nicely with others? Ancestors speaking too. 3, always ancestors. It's really a lot about, like, I don't think any of this is going to be a surprise. That's kind of what I'm hearing is I don't think that anybody's going to have a big surprise coming out of this. That the things that are being highlighted for you as the South Node moves through Libra, these are probably things that you're already aware of. And either you're getting an opportunity to see your healing, you're getting an opportunity to see how much you've grown, you're getting an opportunity to officially, truly leave behind. Like, it's your last final, like it's your final, it's the last little test, last little quiz. And now you get to like seal that off and you know, hey, I am forever changed. Like that is never going to be me again. So I don't think a lot of this, again, I just kind of heard that message. I think what's going to show up, we're ready for, and we've already seen vestiges of it out there already. Okay. So let me get back to the chatting screen and I'll leave you with this and then I'll clear space and we'll get out of here. This Cancer moon, Pluto Capricorn, all the things that we're going through right now, the nodes shifting. This is our next level. What needs to change because of who you are now? Dig in. Get it. This is now building when these nodes shift, when the nodes go, immediately as it ingresses into Aries and Libra, it applies to a square with Pluto, which we will talk about next week. That's where the bendings come in, the south bending, north bending. And that is going to be very impactful, very significant. It's a beautiful transit, beautiful way to work with Pluto and the nodes and really get into this because again, Pluto is just wanting us to be in our full power, our full, especially in Capricorn, our full self-mastery. So here's the 4 things I'm going to tell you. Make the decisions, take the action that's needed. Make decisions, take actions that are needed. Do it. Even if the decision turns out to be the wrong one, you learn something. You can always do something else. Okay? Make the decision, take action. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Go in. New moon in Cancer. Trust what your intuition is telling you. If you need to develop a relationship with your intuition, there are ways to do that. Hit me up. I can share. Do it scared. That's what my husband tells me. You got to do it scared. Got to do it scared. And I love that phrase because I do use it when I am scared. I got to do this shit scared. I got to do it. And then go and make shit happen. Go make shit happen. Please. We want you to make shit happen. You making shit happen makes me want to make shit happen, makes everybody else want to make shit happen too. And we love it. All right, that is it for Twitchy Tuesday. Let me just clear space real quick and then I'm heading out. I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. So if you are in America, I don't know if this is such everywhere else in the world, but I know for sure in America, it's Prime Day. It's not just Prime Day today, it is Prime Day tomorrow too. So if you have been following along, you've clicked on any of the links in the description box, it might be a good time to go check those back out, see if there's any Prime Day deals on any of the decks or books that you've seen here that you want. It might be a great time to look. So Prime Day deals today, tomorrow in America again. I'm not sure about anywhere else in the world. If it is, great, good for you. Definitely try and look those. And all the links have always been in the description boxes for all Twitchy Tuesday episodes. We did get closer to our goal of 1,000 subs on YouTube and 100 followers on Twitch. Quarter 3, we are at it again. Those are our goals. How can you support? You can head to YouTube right now, get to my channel, make sure you're subscribed, and then go to the live tab. You'll see all the July Twitchy Tuesdays, including the special that I have on 7/23 for the next Sabbath, which is Lammas. It's scheduled. Smash that notify me button and you're in. That's how you can help support the channel and getting us to our goals. And if you dig music and you want a specially curated playlist of songs to vibe to, because I love music, I love making playlists, you need to check out my Apple Music channel. You'll find 2 Saturn Return playlists as well as a Twitchy Tuesdays playlist. And I just add to that one regularly as I hear songs throughout my day that I really like. And that is found in the description box as well. The link is right there, as well as the About Me section if you are on Twitch. All right, y'all. See you later.